Good morning. Welcome to Ready Up. It is Monday, January 15th, and we're talking about everything that happened this week in Web3 gaming. I'm your host, Iceyyy Gaming, alongside Peyton Kalevahea. Ooh, Peyton, I think I'm getting
Let's
it.
go.
Founder of Wolves DAO, the
Beautiful.
best kept secret in Web3 gaming. Peyton, we called it last week. We said it was going to be a big week with a potential Bitcoin ETF getting approved, and it was. I can't believe it actually got approved. That's massive. We're going to talk all about that. But we're also going to talk about some big news that happened in Web3 gaming. What do we got, Peyton?
Yeah, man. Well, I sold everything. I sold my camera as well to put in some BTC. Sorry for the quality here, guys. My camera is at my office and I'm snowed in today. But yes, what we're going to be talking about today, we're going to be talking about Yuga and Azuki coming into Web3 gaming. Super excited about that, but also some other things for game updates for like Shrapnite. We're doing their map and they're pulling some good numbers there in terms of UEFN. And then also what we're going to be talking about is not all good in Web3 gaming, but we also have Nike as well as Twitch, as well as the last topic, which is GameStop, also another rug in the Web3 gaming space. So I cannot wait to get going. But without further ado, though, Iceyyy, what's the markets looking out there? Because it's definitely cold here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah, you got some snow. I got my snow last week, but that's why they call me Iceyyy Gaming.
You know
We are
it,
going to
baby.
jump into those markets, but first, Peyton, we also have a giveaway this episode. So you are blessing the Ready Up audience with a Dimensionals Eve. I think we're going to be doing a
You know it.
common. But the floor
Yes.
price on these is pretty healthy, $190, 0.075 ETH. Amazing. So guys, if you're tuning in right now, like, comment, retweet the space. If you're on YouTube, leave a comment down below. We're going to go through all of those and pick a winner to win a dimensional common Eve, which is really cool. So thank you, Peyton, for that.
No problem.
But like we said, the Bitcoin ETF was approved. We front ran like institutional money. I mean, what a time to be alive. I didn't know if this was
Crazy.
actually going to go through. And it actually happened. People were talking about this as like the most historic day in the timeline of Bitcoin. It certainly felt that way. It certainly felt like a big celebration,
Hmm.
like a big achievement. There was, I think, 9 ETFs that were approved. Just massive, man, massive. Did you feel the same way that I felt? Were you like really excited? Did you just feel like a win
Yeah,
for the space?
it definitely does, right? And so, like, in terms of institutional money coming in and just regulation and just a lot of things that even came up to it, like what was crazy about the psych out and everything like that. And it is just really amazing to see like institutional, but just regulation coming in and just everything's just kind of solidifying down so we can kind of navigate this space. Obviously, it was a risky space before and it's starting to become just not as risky. And this cycle, there's going to be the narratives, the same thing every single time. It's like, well, this time it's different. And this one definitely will be leading the charge with the ETF approval and all that stuff. And I know something that Bitcoin, a lot of Ethereum, I know Ethereum ETF. I think a lot of people are rumored that's what's going to be next. So yeah, man, it's been crazy. I love it, and I can't wait for more like this. But yeah, I see it's crazy, man. Love it.
We always talk about like, oh, like we're gonna make it, we're back. It feels like we've made it. Like to a certain degree, it feels like we made it. It feels like a massive accomplishment for the crypto industry. And like, yeah, if there was ever a sign that we're back, Peyton, it's the Bitcoin ETF getting approved. Really funny
Absolutely.
little like drama or controversy around that though. If you're on the timeline last week paying attention, the SEC govern like the official SEC Twitter account, SEC Gov, was actually compromised the day before the announcement was made, which now like pales in comparison because we're not even talking
Hmm.
about that. We're all just so excited about the Bitcoin ETF. But it tweeted out that it was approved in advance, which was, the account was hacked and was not true at the time that it was tweeted. You've got Gary
Right.
Gensler, tweeting, hey, this was unauthorized. I thought this was like a pretty funny meme last week. I think Coop made the joke that like he has better security than the SEC,
Yeah.
which is just hilarious. I really enjoyed it.
Welcome to crypto. That's really what we should be telling them is like anybody that is worth something in crypto has been compromised. So
Yeah,
definitely
exactly.
SEC, welcome.
Yeah,
Welcome to
exactly. Which like is so amazing, right? You like imagine that you hack the SEC Twitter account. And it's like you can post anything you want, but someone from crypto does it and they're like, yo, Bitcoin ETF approved. Like just kind of What a time to be alive, man.
Did you
What a
see
time.
the did you see the theory? Scrammy Noodles, he said that like, hear me out for a second. It was a time tweet. And like that was it. And they put it on the wrong date and time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
What
A lot
a
of theories going out there.
um crazy, crazy. I was enjoying all of the memes. It's like we still have that crypto, cypherpunk culture.
Yeah.
One of the ones, Zach XBT, calling out Gary Gensler with his own words, right? A reminder to secure your financial accounts, protect against identity fraud, use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication. So really, really funny there.
Hilarious.
But with that said, Peyton, let's see how the markets responded. Interestingly enough, Bitcoin is down about 5% on the week. Right now it's at 42,700. I think after the ETF approval, it spiked up to maybe like 47,000, not as high as I thought it
Yep.
would go, and it's kind of retracing. But Ethereum, interestingly enough, is up 12% on the week. So it really seems like the market, it seems to be a little bit of a sell the news event, and it seems like
Right.
the market is rotating into Ethereum, maybe anticipating the ETH ETF might be next. So I thought that was a really interesting market kind of movement. Overall, I'm still pretty bullish. I think that like this is a fantastic sign, and it's been up only ever since like the FTX crash and collapse, and I think it's going to be a big year, man.
I think so too. And I think Ethereum, it actually hasn't had like a huge pump comparatively to the other like altcoins per se. And
Yeah.
Bitcoin doing that in the rotation, being able to see that. And I think, a lot of people said too that it probably won't do that cycle again, but it looks like it will. So I'm very curious to see how like the flow of liquidity goes down from Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the other strong altcoins. So excited to see it, man.
Excited to see it. Also, like, interesting to see. It makes so much sense, right? It's like it's kind of an obvious
Hmm.
narrative, right? Everyone speculated on the Bitcoin, like playing that narrative, playing the news cycles, and it's like, okay, check that one off. Like Ethereum's kind of next. Let's rotate in there.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
And now everyone's kind of posting these memes of like where we're at in the cycle. I saw Ansem posting this like, hey, we're here and we're here, and like all these like photos are going on, kind of predicting this next massive
Mm.
run up
Right.
and the bull run cycle that we're about to hit. But Inverse Raw being like, this is actually where we're at exactly on the chart. I thought that was really funny.
That is funny.
Let's take a look at the fear and greed index. Peyton, we're at 52, which is very
Nice.
neutral. Last week we were in the greed, so we're seeing a
Right.
sell-off into the greed a little bit, coming back into neutral, and
Mhm.
that's actually how it feels for me in the market. I don't know about you, but
Same,
it feels like
same.
I'm seeing like some macro stuff. It's like, oh, we could dump, where there could be a little bit of a retrace. The bears have been clamoring for it. Or it could pump. We're seeing like maybe a
Right.
little bit of a healthy sell off and consolidation and gearing up for the next leg. So very neutral in the markets.
Mhm.
But let's take a look at crypto gaming. Where are we at? 20 billion market cap, still hanging up above there, but keep in mind that ICP represents 6 billion of that market cap. But still love to see it. A lot of green, immutable, still over $2. Axie Infinity up 6% on the week, just under
Mhm.
$8. The Sandbox up 5%. A lot of green on a lot of these top market
Right.
cap coins. Gala up 2%. Illuvium up 4% on the week. If we look at what is down, Geno Pets after their run up last week, down about 20%, but like 10-20% up and down, and especially in crypto gaming, some of these altcoins not such a big deal. Guild Guardians down a little bit,
Right.
decimated. GMT finding a sell off after their run up last week, and Honeyland, a project that I've had my eye on due to Vidar dropping secrets on Sam and Matt's simplified space, down 15%. So I might be looking at that
Yeah.
later.
No, new to it all, who's a whale in that specific ecosystem and has been a friend for mine for like a year. He said like, yeah, watch out for Honeyland. And he is a very smart dude and is so focuses on Honeyland. So I definitely trust him to understand that ecosystem.
Nice,
But
nice,
I think
nice.
also Axie had a huge momentum driver, which was I think it was like the burning of SLP or something like that. Don't quote me, I haven't read it just yet, but it's maybe something we can cover on another show, because I think Axie finally like probably answered to a lot of people's concerns, which is the SLP, which is like deflationary now, which is awesome, awesome to see.
Yeah, I saw a lot of that going around. I've been meaning to dive in. You know, shout out to Axie continuing to push things forward, right? They just had their dynamic NFTs updates, you know, 2-3 weeks
Yeah,
ago, and starting off 2024 strong. Ronin has been cooking. You absolutely love to see it. Real quick, I just like to check in my watch list here. Top gainers, man. Bad Robots. We got a trailer from them. One of the reasons we want to look at the trailer, up
I haven't seen
almost
it yet. You're hyping it
90%.
up, so I'm excited.
90%. I think on like the month they're up like 10x or something like that. It's absolutely crazy. NFT
Nice.
world's up 60%, probably due to their Hyptopia L2 chain that we're going to talk about in the news. Celestia up 40%. Man, that's crazy for like a almost 3 billion market cap. You know, L2 or a new L1. Celestia is just going absolutely crazy. Big time finding some recovery from last week. Breeder DAO up a bit. And then down, we got Illumia selling off. I mean, that kind of seems to be the case right now. Some of these tokens have
Yeah,
had big run-ups, and then they kind of retrace
just
the
selling some off.
following week. Yeah.
You see Cypher down there who had a huge run out for the past
Yeah.
few weeks, finally retracing a little bit. So
Yeah. But with that said, Peyton, those are the markets. Let's
let's
jump
go.
into some game teasers. I teased it up. Well, actually, no, the first one, the biggest one, actually. We got Other Side dropping a pretty big announcement, their biggest announcement that I've seen in quite a while. Join us for a day in the
Mhm.
swamp. Oh, this is the 30 frames per second one that they got roasted for. Got absolutely. Let's take a
Let's do
quick
it. Let's
look at
react
this,
to this one.
man. Oh my goodness. Just a bunch of Apes coming through. Glitchy, terrible frame rate, laggy. Apes come home though. Nice
Yeah.
music. Other Side. February 2024. Join us for
Let's
a day in
go.
the swamp. This did not look
I
good
think
at all. They got absolutely
yeah,
lambasted.
they got demolished. They got demolished by the whole crypto Twitter timeline. I think Hooli also did like a little parody of them. It was hilarious. Did you watch that one?
No, I missed it.
Hooli did it, and they reversed the
Oh,
order, and then at the end it was like, "Is this Epstein's island?" Um, and so it
yo,
was just like really, it was really bad.
I
And
love
so they
their
got
sense of
roasted by
humor,
crypto
man.
Twitter. But at the same time too, it's like, does Yuga sometimes do these things on purpose? Like, it was very noticeably bad. You know, they get two shots at it. I don't know, man. Sometimes I don't really, maybe we give too much credit, but I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. Uh it's awesome.
Yeah, really. I mean, that's you know, listen, Yuga is not one to miss a conspiracy theory out there. So, maybe I just think that was like, I wouldn't want to mess around with your IP and your brand like that. So, but yeah, it's just so confusing. It's like, did no one watch this? Like how? But also sometimes, you know, you can't. Sometimes like when you're uploading to Twitter, right? Like maybe you just think it's
Mhm.
you. You're like,
Yeah.
maybe it's just mine, and like when it goes live, it'll be good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
someone
yeah, yeah.
definitely should have caught it and like either deleted it right away and
Yeah,
reposted.
exactly.
So they did post the remastered version a few days later, looking really good. However, like it's still not. It's just like kind of a
Mhm.
bland
Yeah.
intro. Kind of like there's not much happening.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like when they announced the other side. That trailer, when they announced the other side, was so
Mhm.
friggin' cool. They had the Welcome to the Other Side song, that I'm sure they
Yeah,
had to
yeah.
like license for a lot of money, and it was just so epic to like introduce that whole world. I guess here they're showing off like, hey, we have 10,000, you know, characters that can all be concurrent on this map. This is gonna be, you know, the metaverse or their concept of the metaverse, right? And like,
Yeah.
look, all of the board apes in their full, you know, bodies are here. You're going to be able to, if you're an ape holder, you're going to be able to access that. So that's probably pretty fun. But this just didn't get
Mhm.
me very excited, you know?
Yeah, it didn't get me excited either. I'm excited for like other side and to see what they're coming out in February. And yeah, this is maybe the first shot at the apple, and then they'll do a couple more before. But yeah, it's very different between some of these and what has been putting out for Yuga Games. We reacted to one, a few weeks ago, and it was so much more high quality.
Yeah.
And yeah, impression rate that's pretty bad
Yeah.
for Yuga. So, but I guess that's the remastered one, so they probably had more on their first one.
Yeah.
Definitely had more on the first one because it was a meme. So.
No, the funniest thing about this, I don't know if you saw this, but they titled it like they included like the file name. So it's like Apes Come Home Remaster, 60 frames per second. Gordon says we fucked up. Our bad. Final. Which I think to that point, like, well done. They handled it really well, and that's really
Yeah.
funny. So
Yeah.
shout out to them. We'll be. I mean, listen, we're tuned in, right? Whatever they got coming in February
Yeah.
2024,
Yeah, exactly.
we'll be paying attention. I'm very curious. With that, Peyton, let's jump into this next trailer, and I'm super excited to get your reaction to
All right.
this.
Oh shoot. Okay.
This looks sick. Dance moves.
I like the death animation.
Yeah.
A little bit of a ragdoll effect, but nothing over crazy.
Characters are kind
Some
of
of the
wild.
missiles and stuff remind me of like Quake.
Yeah. So this is Badmad
Nice.
Robots, the project that I mentioned in the markets is having an absolute run up right now. Don't know much about them. Just kind of came across them and saw the trailer, and it looked really cool. They got another one on their pinned profile, kind of introing. We can watch this real quick too. I always like to show gameplay, but like the cinematic is dope as well.
No, it looks awesome. Pairing it with cinematics and gameplay, is really cool. So.
It's bedtime, baby.
Nice, man.
Very, like,
awesome trailer, awesome gameplay trailer.
It's very cyberpunk,
yeah.
Cypherpunk. Like I don't know, man. I like the vibe. I like the music. Gameplay looks good. It still feels early, right? Like you said, some of the animations could be better. This project just really came out of nowhere as far as I'm concerned. It was making some noise on the timeline. So I'm really curious to see what this turns into, and I want to dive in and learn more.
Yeah, I'm excited to learn more and everything like that and get the hands of the game. I think, when it comes to editing and everything like that, I'm an editor, and so sometimes you tend to hide some things. One thing that I learned last cycle, and this is not Badman Robots at all, it's Nyan Heroes difference between like their first like gameplay versus like their second. When it came out was like a huge difference, and a lot of people were like a little frustrated at like you guys have been like gone for like a year, like why are you coming back and then just kind of doing this like little thing that does not look as good as your first one that you came out, because you can get away with a lot in these gameplay trailers because you control the environment, you control the edit. So yeah, I'm excited to get my hands on it. Gameplay tells overall, right?
Very true. Yeah. It's important not to be deceived by flashy graphics and a flashy trailer. With that said,
it's hard though.
With that said, we do have some gameplay from Capsule Heroes, a project coming out of Treeverse and Loopify. They had early playtests going around. Shout out to Papa Young, who got to playtest with Raiden. So we got a Raiden clip in here.
I heard Raiden got slapped.
Yeah. Looks fun. Looks good.
The nunchucks looks awesome.
Yeah.
Looks like a mixture between Fall Guys and a little bit of like a Brawl Stars. And
Are those donuts or yo-yos?
Very cool to see.
That was kind of cool.
It looks like both.
Yeah.
I like the nunchucks and the stuff last time.
Yeah. Oh, you got Apex in there. Shout out Apex. This looks like it's mobile. Which is cool.
Looks like mobile. The hand, yeah.
Like it.
Looks like a fun game.
Yeah.
Just to play, and you can always like be surprised with these, like on how well they do in. Oh, Raiden. Bye, Raiden. Dude, this guy slaps, dude. He's a sweat, and so Um, yeah, you could always be surprised on like how well these do on like on a mobile device on
Yeah.
like the Apple Store, or also Google Play. And so excited to see what they do. And you said this was done by Loopify.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So I think they're just like, they're putting a lot more shots on target, and
Mhm.
crypto loves new stuff. And so I think they're gonna do well.
Yeah, so this is their PvP brawler in development by Endless Clouds, the developers of Treeverse. So really cool. Yeah, I wonder if this will be any connection to their Treeverse IP or if it's going to be completely separate. Not exactly sure.
Yeah. I'm not too sure either. I think they'll keep it separate. Like I think they've done the brands don't look anything alike
Yeah.
in terms of like Treeverse or that specific game.
Hmm.
And so maybe it was a third party studio that they hired underneath that studio. I don't know.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Me either. We got two more, Peyton, real quick. We got some raw
Nice.
gameplay capture from the Watch. I don't know much about the Watch. Do you?
I think this is the Ubisoft specific game. Not a Ubisoft game, I'm sorry. There's a studio that partnered with Ubisoft.
Okay.
And they did like an RTS, but I think it was a turn-based back in 2021.
Hmm.
But their art is it's very distinguished. I think looks good. Looks good. If
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the same project, I think it used to be called the Frontier before.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
I don't know though. I might be wrong. I might be wrong here.
Yeah.
But RTS though looks good as RTS.
Yeah. Kind of like a League of Legends vibe. I like the world. It's very this is a kind of like fantasy world building game that I would get into. I'm a big graphics guy, Payne. Like I have to like see the graphics and be like, that's something
Yeah.
that I could see myself like getting immersed in, right?
For
shout
sure.
Shout out to Fresco, always
Yeah.
talking about like the immersion of games.
This kind of gives me like Halo Wars vibes.
Yeah.
Obviously not without the IP and everything like that, but looks good. Probably get Sam in here to try the RTS.
Yeah, do a little bit of shoutcasting. Shout out to Sam.
Mhm.
Peyton, did you watch the wild card event on Friday?
I watched the first 15 minutes, but I didn't get to watch all of them. But I heard like Psalm slapped everybody, so
Yeah.
I already knew the outcome.
Yeah, I mean, not too much of a surprise there, but definitely shout out to
Yeah.
Bryson, YP, and Alyssa. Really fun event. Shout out to Wildcard. They put it on. They were testing out new map features like the
Mhm.
vent. Sam and Shady Shiba had really great chemistry and shoutcasting. I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
We were at the Shrapnel Vegas house watching it before we had to go out to the event, so that was cool.
Nice.
Yeah. And last but not
But
least,
I think it was previously called the Frontier, though. I think that's what it was called. But I need to check that out.
Yeah. We'll do we gotta check the Wolves Dow kill room and see what's going on over there.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Peyton, we
Illuvium.
got a little teaser from Illuvium. Looks like they rebalanced their Abyssal Basin and
Okay.
changed up some of the graphics there. So this is one of the areas that I really like. I don't even know if they needed to rebalance it. But I'm liking what I'm seeing here. So let me play this for you. I know Illuvium's like a hit or miss with some people. I'm a big fan of Illuvium. I think it looks beautiful. I understand what they're trying to do and trying to accomplish. It's ambitious, but like, who am I to say anything about it, right? I like what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
The PvP auto
think
battler is
Illuvium-
not like so much for me.
Yeah.
But I really like their overworld.
Yeah. I think a lot of people give Illuvium slack, but like I think their scope and everything like that is definitely doable. And it looks beautiful. And so, I probably was a hater mostly because of like the conversations that I've had with the community of like saying like, it probably won't adopt as much as like you think. They're like, no,
Yeah.
everybody's gonna do it. That's really like where I've had the run in. Never like with the actual game itself, because I am cheering for it. Illuvium looks
Yeah.
beautiful. It is a auto battler, but also like has a beautiful overworld.
Yeah.
Land-based stuff, and they also have like a lot of money. So if they're going to come from like a place that could probably iterate for a while to see if something does stick, it could be Illuvium. So
Yeah.
I'm cheering for them.
Yeah, like I was just saying in the last trailer, like I like worlds that I can get immersed in. These like this like rock
Hmm.
wall, I think is a new design feature. I don't. Last time I was in this map, I didn't see anything like this, so that's kind of cool. And like me, like I like exploring the world of Illuvium. Like I've spent hours just jumping around, seeing like what's around the next corner, seeing like what they can offer. Spoiler, it hasn't been much so far, but I'm like looking forward to when the game comes out and like, you know, just exploring their world. I mean, this is cool, right? They always have like these really unique features, like these trees that are lit up and
Hmm.
these, you know, I don't know if these are plants or flowers or what they
Yeah, kind
are.
of like it feels like Avatar. Feels like
Yeah.
Avatar for sure. Nice.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I'm a
Yeah.
fan. I'm a fan. I like to see
Yeah.
it. But with that,
Dude,
Peyton,
well,
yeah.
yeah. Dude, I know. Illuvium, everything like that is so good, dude. And one thing that I wanted to get from you though is just like game updates and things that are kind of currently going out on the market, just for like our specific builders that we talk to. But something that you actually did recently is going to Las Vegas, where you had the release of Shrapnite in terms of that. And I would love to just get your thoughts on Shrapnite and all the things that you've done at Shrapnel in Las Vegas.
Yeah, man, it was a great time. I'm excited to dive into it. But just real quick reminder for anyone tuning in live or watching the playback, we are giving away a Dimensionals Common Eve worth about 0.075 ETH right now. That's going for $190.
No.
If you like, comment, retweet on the space, or comment on YouTube. We're going to be picking a winner in the next day or so. So definitely check that out. But absolutely, Peyton. Shout out to Shrapnel, shout out to Dub and Tony on the team and Saigo. Taking us out to Vegas. We went with Cairo and Orangey. Got to meet some other people that were local in Vegas, like Trip, and I got to shout out Zach, who works with Skyborn Legacy, actually. So
Nice. Yeah, Zach's awesome.
this was to like announce and celebrate the launch of their UEFN game night. So this is their Shrapnite map in Fortnite, which actually plays really, really well. I've got some interesting stuff there I want to ask you about, Peyton. But the event
Hmm.
overall was awesome, man. Shrapnel knows how to roll out the red carpet, man. They're 2 for 2.
Yeah.
The Miami house for Art Basel was incredible. You saw all the clips there. The Nerf War was a big fan favorite. The Vegas house was a little bit smaller, a little bit more of an intimate event. There's just a few of us going out there for this. But they took us out to dinner, put us up in a really nice Airbnb. It was really great to spend some time with Cairo and Orangey.
Yeah.
Like I was always a big fan of them. I've seen them at a few events and like always hung out and always had good things, but like really like got to see them in another light, see them more like themselves. And man, are they just so friggin' brilliant, Peyton? Like I was telling you this last
Yeah.
night. They're so
Yeah. Yeah.
brilliant. They're so talented. They're such like gamer, right? Like they know what they're
Yeah.
talking about. They've got such a strong passion. They were giving all sorts of feedback to Tony, and Tony was just soaking it all up, and Dub was soaking it all up, and you know, sharing their thoughts. And it was just a really, really cool thing to be around. So thank you, Shrapnel, for bringing us out, and super excited for everything. I mean, everyone knows, I think, at this point, how big of a fan I am of Shrapnel. So, and
Yeah.
I can't. I have to say, like, I have to stop saying that I've never been paid now, because they did fly me out there, which was really cool, and you know, put me up. So I'm a paid shill
Yeah.
now for Shrapnel, Peyton.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a reason why, and like there's been so much of a long time that you weren't paid by Shrapnel, and you talked about them, and I think this is them just reciprocating the gesture, like you're awesome, and making sure that like it doesn't go unnoticed, which is awesome. Oh, I didn't know Next also provided this as well. And so Next is um, Zintos, who's the owner of Zintos. He actually made UEFN maps that had been very trendy on UEFN, and he must have done it for the Shrapnel. And so good job for them. Good job, Zintos. And
Yeah.
so he's actually like a whale in a lot of other projects as well in terms of NFTs.
Okay, nice. Yeah, definitely check out Next Studios. They crushed the map. It's so good. Um and really, really supportive. So you love to see it, man. So this is their map. They're gonna be doing game nights here, and they've got like a leaderboard for the next week or so where you can you know, get a clip and submit it through the Smoke.io app. Shout out to Ember. We might be talking about him a little bit
Nice.
later. Most interestingly, Peyton, so you can go to Fortnite.gg and look up the map
Hmm.
stats. So they've
Right.
peaked at all-time users at 1,600 users concurrent at one point. This is if I go to, let's see, like the month. Of course, Friday, Saturday were really, really big days. But what I didn't
Hmm.
know, Peyton, was how much money some of these Fortnite maps could be making. The
Right.
estimated earnings for just that day where it was 1,600 players was $300 at the low end, all the way up to $1,000 at the high end, or $1,200 at the high end. So imagine making $1,000 a day off a Fortnite map. That's $30,000 a month,
Yeah.
which is not nothing. I actually
No,
tweeted,
no, it's not.
it out and like was very curious about a Web3 game doing that and then using that revenue to support their Web3 initiatives or ecosystem.
Hmm.
I don't know, like the money's got to come from somewhere. And hey, if you're making a bunch of money
Right.
off of a custom Fortnite map that is like resembles your game, I think that opens up some really interesting things.
It does, and something that I actually like pursued a little bit for Champions before, and I talked to Lester Chen from A16Z, and he was just saying sometimes it can become a distraction
Mm-hmm.
for the studio itself, right? You're trying to make this, and then if you kind of have a shiny object syndrome as well, you kind of then go into a fact that you sometimes start to try to chase after that. UEFN, the cycle, it's like you have to always kind of be in it
Mm-hmm.
to be able to do well and to code well, and there's not as much infrastructure that you can, and Epic is still learning what to do as well in terms of that, like in terms of concurrent players. I did a whole like study on it. Maybe we can break it down like off camera or anything like that, but I did a whole study on it, and if you're not one of those top ones though, you pour a lot of time and effort into it, and you can't control any of the people coming to visit other than like the outside socials and giving
Yeah.
like codes. But like Fode does this. Fode, they did like 3 maps so far. I think their second one was a tycoon,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very just like very trendy. Think of them as like YouTube videos, but like putting a lot more effort to that. Like you have to do your thumbnails, you have to do your description, but you also have to have like a very fun gameplay loop that isn't like really predicated on like your game, but like things that like the Unreal, and not Unreal Engine, but people on Fortnite are actually playing. So they like tycoons, they like oh, was it Bed Wars? These like specific build to specific tutorials. And so for us, we were just like, man, will this be a distraction for us? Probably. It's already been a distraction for me to pump all those numbers. But for them, or for Shrapnel, what they did was they hired a studio to do it next, who has had success in the past. So I highly suggest anybody that is doing that, reach out to Next and Zintos. If you need to connect, let me know. I don't know if he's open, so apologize, Zintos.
No, I mean, from what I heard, like they wanted to work with Shrapnel and do their map
Yeah.
as a way to like get out there and prove out that business model. So yeah, really interesting stuff. And Orangey, big Fortnite gamer, was
Mhm.
talking about how much like that is the meta. That's a little bit of a meta in the
Yeah,
Fortnite community right now, is making these maps and how much money can be made with them, to your point.
absolutely.
And some of these some of these maps can be really, really simple, like you said.
Oh yeah.
It's about like figuring out the algorithm, getting it to rank, getting it to get players, be suggested, have a fun kind of quirky name and thumbnail, so people are like, what is this, let me
Yeah.
play, and then they get hooked, and then they're playing nonstop, and they tell their friends and whatnot, and you're just making a
Yeah.
bunch of, it's like
It's
ranking
crazy.
on Google with like an SEO site or something
Exactly.
like
It
that.
it really is. And like the only thing is that because it's so in its infancy, you never know like when you're going to get cycled up there into in front of other people. And so yeah, it is pretty crazy to think about like what Fortnite will become in the next few years. And I think as those tools happen and Verse is more, there's not as many Verse like coders as well. So they're charging an arm and a leg because they should get charged an arm and a leg because it's a new coding language for Epic. So you'll see more UEFN maps like be more like customized, and like crazy things happen
Yeah.
once like that ecosystem gets a little bit more fleshed out. I cannot wait for it. Like man, it's like I'm super excited about it. But also, I'm super excited about, you have it up on the screen, is the Arena X lab raises 6 million to develop AI powered games. And I was talking to Gwei last night. I wanted to congratulate him in person, or at least over the call. And they have been just killing it over the bear market. And the way that they've developed their community, I have high amount of respect for Gwei and AI Arena. And for people that don't know what AI Arena is, it is a game that kind of teaches you machine learning. What I like about it is, like, I could probably put my son there, and he can understand like what it takes to train a like AI model. And so you train an AI model through like kind of Super Smash Brothers type of thing, and then you actually don't play whenever you're watching them compete against like me and Iceyyy. You'd actually watch them compete instead of us like having the controller. All of the work was done beforehand, and you training that model into different situations. And so I really like the model, and congratulations, Gwei and that team for raising 6 million.
Yeah, you absolutely love to see it. Congrats to them. I think, did they mention who they raised from? Uh, Framework Ventures led the round, 7X Ventures, Fund Plus, Exterio, shout out Exterio, and
Hmm.
more strategic ventures participating. Really interesting stuff. Like you said, I got a quote here. The Arena X team is flipping the narrative by creating products that encourage normal people to actually interface with and begin learning to train AI through the language of play, which, you know,
Yes.
no better way to do that than through gaming. So that's really interesting. And we have a quote here from Brandon De Silva, their CEO and co-founder. One of the reasons we built the company was to give people who are really good at AI an opportunity to monetize their talent they might not otherwise have. So that's where the blockchain comes in, right?
Hmm.
This will give so many great opportunities to researchers because they can build models and prove they're better than others because our game is a competition. So I like how they're
Yeah.
combining the AI narrative with the blockchain and Web3 gaming narrative.
Right.
Really, really smart. I mean, just saying that feels like they should raise 60 million, not 6, but congrats on the raise, guys. Super excited to see you know, the future development of the game. Have you played it, Pete? And like, I haven't
Yeah, yeah,
played,
yeah.
and
I
I'd
played it.
love to get in there.
Yeah, I played it. It's actually like pretty tough though. I will say that, like in terms of like teaching your model and everything like that. But it's so satisfying. I've gotten like a different type of satisfying feel playing this game that I haven't actually got from others. It's like learning a new skill,
Hmm.
and that's something that, like, whenever I play games, sometimes I want to be immersed, but sometimes, I want to learn something. And they struck a really good balance of like, I felt like I was learning machine learning, but I didn't really feel like too much of a, let's say, yeah, too much of um, a burden for sure.
Yeah,
And so, yeah.
very cool. Very cool. In other news,
Nice. Well, yeah. In other news, we're talking about Hyptopia and how they're launching their L2, powered with their force, enable mass adoption for Web3 games, and Topia is going to be their ticker there, and something that this company has grown so much from what their first game was, which was like NFT Worlds, which was like pre-mint, all that stuff. And then they got cut down from Minecraft, from Microsoft saying like, hey, this isn't going to work. But then just kept on growing. And now they're at the point where they're launching their own chain, and building out their whole builder. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what they go to next. I know they've like probably, I think this is their third name change or something like that. Oh no, Topia was the last name, but
yeah.
it is crazy to see. What do you think of this? Whatever you were talking and listening to the high chain come out with their token.
I think you're right, man. It's been really impressive to see how they've handled adversity, going from like massive success of having an incredibly popular Minecraft map to like overnight that being taken away and being like, what are we gonna
Hmm.
do? And they're like, they continue building and they launch, you know, Hyptopia, and they rebrand and they continue pushing their vision forward. So congratulations. I mean, launching an L2 is massive. My question
Hmm.
is like, are they going to be looking for games to come build on there and like going more the publisher route, kind of like Beam, or you know, a
Right,
little bit of like the Gala model? I mean, I know they're doing well financially, but that's a very big undertaking.
right.
So a little curious about that. Me personally, I'm getting like fatigued by all the L1 meta and the L2,
Hmm.
and people even talk about L3s, and it's like,
Yeah.
we just keep building stuff. And are the users here? Do they need it? Are they going to use it? Then that's not a shot at like Hyptopia or High Chain by any means. Just some of the thoughts that I think about when I see a new
Right.
announcement like this. It's like, okay, great. And, you know, listen, to your point, Peyton, more shots on goal are always good. More people developing tech, making breakthroughs, finding innovations, you know, those little breadcrumbs end up leading to, you know, the Amazons and the Netflixes and the Ubers and things like that. So ultimately, I think it's good for the space. I'm just curious of like, why are they building an L2, and then like what the goal is and who they hope to bring on. Because also, like, we still continue to see a lot of the big chains vying for these games, and then the games will switch chains and do this, and there's grants and all that stuff. So it's like, I want to see the adoption, I want to see the use cases, I want to see the growth. But that's, again, not a shot at Hyptopia. You know, maybe it makes sense, right? I know for some of the Gala ecosystem stuff, it's like, it makes sense for us to have our own chain, and this is how we're going to do it. So I definitely believe in a multi-chain future. So I haven't done a deep dive. I don't think they've like released too many of the details. But, you know, shout out to them for doing it. It's massive. It's like, you know, they're like, hey, we're not just building a game, we're building a blockchain.
Yeah, I know, but I feel you on that, man. I feel you in terms of like just everyone releasing chains, but then like, do we have enough games to even build on these chains, right? Then you have like these grants, but we've seen like this dance before. We've seen like this dance of people are not, you know, these builders. It always comes back down to builders at the end of the day.
Yes.
And you know, are they going to be? Where are they going to be building? Because if there is no games on your chain, which then that's why Hyptopia has a kind of a leg up on some people, because they do have their game first and foremost was that for that. So curious to see how it goes, and see which one gets adopted. Yeah, good, a lot of shots on goal, but at the same time, for me, I like to always caveat with quality shots on goal. And not all of these are quality, not saying that about Hyptopia, but just launching a chain for launching a chain's sake isn't good.
Yeah. Talking about shots on goal, someone that's been building for a little while here, we got Nyan Heroes announcing that they're coming to the Epic Game Store. They've been building for a while, so it's great to see some progress there and some excitement coming. They also, with this announcement, Peyton, dropped that they're doing their first ever airdrop. Is it first ever for 2024? I'm not sure about that. I don't know if they've done an airdrop before.
I think for 2024. I think they've done one with the NFT holders. I'm not too sure though.
Got it. So definitely playing off of the play to airdrop or the airdrop meta that's going on. But exciting. I went and wish listed it on Epic. So guys, if you're a fan of Nyan Heroes, if you like PvP shooters with cats, hero shooters with cats, go check out Nyan Heroes. What was your reaction to this, Peyton?
No, I'm glad that they're coming out with it. I think when it comes to this, whenever you kind of go silent for that long, you try to see is like, oh, are they dead or are they like, you know, coming back? And yeah, they're coming back, similar to like Cypher and stuff like that. And I think Nyan Heroes, that they have like a little bit of a controversy for them because of like their previous like beats of coming out, and I actually haven't played their. I think they had like a closed alpha or closed beta during the bear market, and I heard mixed reviews on it. So I'm excited to see what comes out of this one, where it's like a little bit more public. And I want to play this one because I'm more of a Gears of War background, so third person shooter really means a lot to me, and it looked like the speed of Gears, and so that's really what I want to get into there, for sure.
Peyton, are you a dog person or a cat person?
I'm a dog person for sure.
Nice.
How about yourself?
This is a cop-out answer, but I'm both. Like, I've always grown up with dogs.
Yeah. Oh, I like cats too. Yeah. I just have allergies for cats, so that's why I don't. Yeah. I like them though.
Same here. I had to, I saw my cat yesterday, after like going to Vegas for a little while, so I had to take some like Zyrtec like allergy meds so I could like spend more time.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, Peyton, with that, we got one last little update for us coming out of My Angry Yakuza Girlfriend. Really cool. They officially announced the partnership with Exterio Games. We were speculating here for a little while
Yeah, buddy.
about this. We were dropping breadcrumbs left and right, but it's official now. Their Black Card Pass NFT will be dropping on Exterio. Exterio is just on fire, man. This might be the year of Exterio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been getting a lot of market share. Exterio has been really good, and they're kind of acting as more of a publishing arm. And if you look at it from like a publishing arm standpoint, like what do a lot of these NFT projects need? They need to sell out their project, right, to be able to at least raise some capital. And so if they keep on hitting that, GG's, good job. So
Awesome. With that, Peyton, that's going to wrap up the game updates. I think we lingered on a few of those a little longer than normal, but we got some crazy news stories, so let's just jump right into them. I think one of the biggest ones last week, man, Azuki announcing a couple of different announcements. They dropped this beautiful 2-minute clip teaser of like a potential anime story, anime series that could come out called Sisters, telling the story of two Azuki sisters, but interweaving all of their collections, right? They've got the beans in here, they've got the garden, they've got the elementals and everything. Like really cool. The quality of this was incredible. We're not going to watch the entire thing, but in their announcements,
it's okay if you want to.
I mean,
It's so beautiful.
I do want to. It is gorgeous. Like
things got better until you found the sword. You told me it was dangerous.
Continuing to build that story. I think like recapping a lot of the story, but then continuing to build on that lore and everything that they got going on. But Peyton, one of the big announcements is that they're coming to gaming. So they announced that they've got 3 verticals that is going to be their focus: anime with a potential short series, physical, so they're getting into the goods, of course. You know, probably taking a page out of Pudgy Penguins with the plushies and everything like that. And then, of course, gaming. Let me pull up the tweet here. So our first hyper-casual mobile game featuring beans is slated to come out this year. We're exploring larger scale games that can elevate the Azuki IP through interactive experiences at the intersection of anime, gaming, and Web3. Little, I don't know, fun teaser. I don't know if that's like just a graphic for the thing, or if that's actually going to be part of the game. I'm not sure there. But Azuki getting into gaming, what do you think about that, Peyton?
You know what, dude, I think it's awesome. And I think when it comes to Azuki, I have never been a hater of Azuki, and I know there is a lot of haters because they've been
maybe
what
the
is it?
shadow.
They haven't, like, they've been a little like silent on a lot of their building or anything like that. They haven't been doing much. I just really like it as like an IP. And so I'm super excited to see what they do, because their art style is something that I aesthetically like aspire to be. And I think the beans or these hyper casual games, wherever they go to with the gaming, I think will do a lot of work in terms of pushing that IP to more people. I think the reason why they're doing hyper casual is similar to why like the as a Pudgy Penguins did Walmart, right? Is to get that mass adoption. In casuals, it's a lot more easier to get it into people's hands than it is for like a hardcore game, right? And try to get a mass adoption. As also, you can fail quick and move on. And I think that's really like what they need to do is just. Azuki has like a lot of money, like Yuga, and they're like the 2 leaders in the space, right? Yuga and Azuki. And I think when it comes to gaming, I think Azuki just needs to be very smart, hire the right people to use that IP well, and just keep learning. I'm super excited to see what comes of it. What do you think in terms of the whole Azuki? Are you one of those like kind of like, hey, you know, they haven't really built anything, or are you excited about Azuki?
No, I've always been a fan of the art. I'm not a big NFT guy, so I don't dive like into their worlds and the culture there. But of course, like, you know, Web3 gaming and NFTs, we're brothers, sisters. We're all in the same family. So I'm a fan of Azuki, right? Shout out to Matt DeFi's and his PFP.
Yeah.
It's always a vibe. My takeaway, it's funny, man. Like, I feel like Web3 gaming front ran the NFT space in the terms of like, hey guys, gaming is the future. Like, it's gaming, right?
Yeah.
Like, I remember all these Twitter spaces 2 years ago or 3 years ago during the bull run with like all these NFT MFers being like, oh, we can do this, we can do that, da, da, da. Like, you know, the vibes, the culture, like, it's all good, man. Wag me. It was all wag me vibes, right?
Yeah.
And gaming, I think, understood like, hey, we got to build some really awesome products. There's an opportunity to build products,
Right.
and like, what can we do there? So it's cool to see that a lot of these NFTs, like, what NFT project is not trying to do a game, right? Like,
Right.
you've got Yuga Labs, the biggest one in the space, and they're doing gaming, right? Pudgy Penguins
Yeah.
announcing their game, Pudgy's World, at Art Basel, and now Azuki coming into the fray. So I love to see it. I think it's good. I agree with you, Peyton. I think hyper casual is the way to go. They should definitely work with the right people, and you don't need
Mhm.
something crazy. You just need something engaging and fun that like makes your holders happy, but also could appeal to either the Web3 gaming audience and
Right.
a more broad mass appeal audience. And like, I always again come back to Zynga in my mind of like, simple, fun, well-designed game loop,
Mhm.
but incentivize it with an Azuki or something like that. Like, there's really
Right.
creative things that they can do. So I'm excited. I hope that they do something like that. Not so much like the play to airdrop meta, but like, you know, give people an opportunity to play your game, come into your ecosystem, and maybe get rewarded with one of those coveted elementals or beans or you know,
Right.
main PFPs. That'd be really cool.
I agree. And I think the only thing that I would probably warn people coming to this show is that there's only a few companies within like the top market cap of PFPs that can probably pull this off. In the last cycle, you know, people started realizing that gaming was the future at the end of the cycle, and so they just like announced like all these different types of things that like, oh, we're gonna get into gaming. And it's like, no, you don't just get into gaming.
Yeah.
It's something that you like really have to methodically think about. And I think a lot of people that are going to get raise funds through these PFPs are going to burn it because they think, oh, I need to make a game. And it's like, oh, sweet summer child, you have a lot to learn there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm excited to see it. But just a word of warning out there, I think Azuki, Pudgies, as well as Yuga, and some of these other brands out there that have established like treasuries to really take that treasury to learn, I think is definitely a good one. But if you are putting it all on gaming, just be careful. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, true. Very true. And if you're going to do it, maybe you should talk to some of the leaders in the space who know what they got, you know what's going on and can advise
Yeah,
or
exactly.
consult or, you know, at least like give you some feedback. Wolves Dow. Next up, Peyton, who you teased it in the opening. Not all is good in the
Mhm.
world. Twitch laying off 35% of their staff,
Yeah.
which is going to be about 500 people. These layoffs come after a series of executive departures in the last few months. We've seen a lot of like creative
Right.
executives leave the company, and also they laid off about 400 workers last March.
Mhm.
So a little rocky for Twitch,
Yeah.
which has been a little bit of the theme for the past few years for Twitch, struggling to, you know, the macro environment, stay profitable and, you know, make money out here.
Mhm.
I think this is I think this is a pretty big deal, Peyton. I mean, it's par for the course a little bit for
Yeah.
Twitch, which is sad, but like, I think that this has ripple effects throughout the gaming industry. I don't know.
Right.
You had
No,
opinions.
no, you hit it on the nose. Like the gaming industry this last year has had some of the massive hits of just gaming in general. Like you have Baldur's Gate 3, you have Spider-Man 2, you have like all these other games that were just like phenomenal that would have won game of the year, Legend of Zelda, so Paul doesn't hate me, right? Like those specific ones all released in this last year. But the other thing is the massive layoffs of like Embracer Group not getting the money that they have in terms of the multiple studios underneath him, massive layoffs through the industry just of workers, Twitch laying off their staff because probably Twitch is like not very profitable from the even the standpoint of like what a lot of Amazon was pouring into them for like Prime Gaming and a lot of other things as well. And so I think when it comes to this, I think there was just like this last year there was a lot of good hits, but at the same time there was just like a lot of fluff. I think there's how many games were shipped. I forgot on how many games on Steam were shipped,
I think like
and I
14,000.
think
I think I
yeah,
saw a tweet from
14,000.
Jonah saying like 14,000 games shipped last year.
Yeah, shout out to Jonah. So like the 14,000 specific games, like there's no one that can like really intake that. But also there was like, the golems of the world, and there's like what is it, the King Kong one that
Yeah.
was just like terrible as well. And I think what a lot of people think, and this I actually want to quote like my boss here, he said like gaming was kind of treated as like a tech business these past few years. It really is an entertainment business. And an entertainment business is very cutthroat, right? And it's a hit driven business. So if you don't do a hit, well, you don't play. There's no specific ones. People choose that. When I watch Asmongold, or I watch uh, Penguin or anything like that, it's really, when it comes down to it, they are moist critical. And the people that I listen to are just saying like, hey, I'm not going to play a game that's crappy.
Yeah.
Like gamers don't do that. Like they
Yeah.
just simply won't. So it is an entertainment business. And I just wanted to quote my boss there, because he is right. If you can't entertain, you don't play. And that's why there was like a lot of layoffs, because I think a lot of people are treating the gaming industry as more of a tech industry when it really is an entertainment industry. And so unfortunately, that's what we found out. And unfortunately, I also know a lot of people that are hurt because of it. So
Yeah. It makes me concerned, right? I got my start in Web3 gaming as a streamer. I was really excited to get on Twitch and figure out the platform and start to grow on Twitch. It was a really, really great experience. And I feel like gaming, lives in streaming. So what happens if Twitch continues to struggle and Amazon gets to a point where they're like, yeah, no, this doesn't make any sense, and we shut down or whatnot? Does everyone move over to YouTube? Does YouTube, put the money into streaming? I know that they were bullish on it at one point, but they seem to have kind of taken a step back because it's a tough business to.
It's expensive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very expensive.
It's expensive.
And it's a tough business to make work. And if Amazon and YouTube can't do it, I don't know, do we just end up with YouTube clips and going back to YouTube games and streams and editing down the gameplay? Not really sure. I don't know what that would signal for the future of gaming and people collaborating and streaming games and playing games together with your friends and whatnot. Time will tell. Time will tell. I mean, there's also the case to be made that like, hey, they're laying off staff, getting lean, getting hungry, like, doing what you need to do to, save money and, invest in, making the right decision. So,
yeah.
I also think there's another
Absolutely.
interesting take, Peyton. Really sorry to all the people that were let go. But there's a lot of Web3 games and studios and like people that are hungry in this space that are growing, and there's some awesome jobs that are out there. So I'd love to see more people come into Web3 and build here, because I'm sure some really talented great people are out there.
It's a good call out. That's a good call out, because I think there was a lot of people that got let go that are kind of just hovering for a little bit. Some good people too. And so I think when it comes to the flows and monies that come in through like Pudgies and Azukis, like hiring, they can hire a good person because they do have the money to do so. So
yeah,
I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Other big news story from last week, Peyton. Nike coming out saying that they're going deeper into video game fashion amid their NFT push. So shout out to Kate breaking the article over the weekend. I think Dot Swish pushed their blog out on Friday, so I didn't have a chance to like find the news. But love that Decrypt was right on top of it. So Nike says that they'll continue to expand into video game wearables through its Dot Swoosh platform, but it's unclear if there will be more NFTs. So it's not clear. They don't say anything about NFTs or blockchain. They're very careful to do that.
Right.
So we're not sure if this is going to be, if this is good for Web3 gaming, or if Nike's just pushing forward into digitals. What was your first reaction to this, Peyton?
I think it's good either way. I think when it comes to fashion or some type of ownership to represent the identity of yourself into a virtual world, I think it is bullish, in terms of like NFTs, because you have a generation that is being raised where majority of their life is being spent, and you can argue if it's like good or bad, um, is being raised in a digital world. That the way that you flex or the Rolex of like, their specific generation is a Fortnite skin. And there is value that they as a generation and even our generation has given to, right? Like I remember the first time that I saw a John Wick skin coming after me at Fortnite, I was
Yeah.
scared, right? Like those are these things that we give power to as kind of generations go down. And I think it's just going to get more powerful and more powerful. And Nike gets that. They're not a stupid company at all,
Yeah.
right? In-game wearables and things like that. And the next like logical step, in my opinion, and that's why we probably bet on this industry so much, is because there needs to be a rolling receipt that is rewarded for that identity piece. So not just the identity of the wearables representing them, but also the identity of like, hey, this is my transactional history on the blockchain. This is why I'm valuable to you. You should probably pay me or at
Mhm.
least pursue me as a gamer that you want. And I think that's where the back end of blockchain really thrives, is empowering the gamer at the end of the day.
Yeah, we say this a lot that like these players that come into the space and choose to build here, it's because they see where the puck is going. They see what the future is.
Mhm.
And Nike has always been one to be looking forward. So some quotes here from the article. A virtual and saying exactly what you just said, Peyton. A virtual product's value should be based on the enjoyment it gives you when using it to express yourself or unlocking access to a physical product. That's kind of cool. And it's more about the
Mhm.
joy of collecting, of being a true fan, not just a transaction. Nike's Dot Swoosh wrote in a blog post. And then they say, in the next year, you will see this come to life. The post continue. We'll go way deeper into video gaming with the launch of a new line of virtual products, Nike in-game wearables. Love that they're calling them
Good.
in-game wearables. In-game wearables are different than their digital collectibles like the OF1 because you can purchase and wear these collections directly in your favorite video games. Interesting. So a
Yeah.
little bit of interoperability going on there. Is that
Mhm.
teasing some of the
Yeah.
Fortnite stuff? Because Nike's done stuff with Fortnite before.
Yeah.
Um, they do also mention that the collectors of these future in-game wearables won't need crypto wallets. So they do make a point to point that out. All that
Mhm.
gamers will need is to link their game accounts. So it's unclear if those wearables will be NFTs or not, or maybe they will be NFTs, but they're getting away from wallets and all that and just making
Right.
accounts.
And that's what like the whole gaming industry is moving towards too, in a lot of like more accessible way. I think um the Web3 has shown that there isn't that much gamers here, right?
Hmm.
And so what you need to do is you still need to make it accessible. I think before all of us were like, oh no, people would go through all those hurdles. Actually, they only were going through those hurdles to earn some type of token. And then now I think we've all kind of realized, oh, now we probably need to make sure that this is accessible for everyone. And I think that's what Nike's doing. It's like, hey, sign up for an email. If you ever want this to be on NFT, we'll mintage the blockchain and we'll airdrop it to your wallet. Right. I think that's probably what's going to happen. Don't quote me on that, but that's what a lot of builders are doing in that aspect of things.
Yeah, I love that. Shout out to Chris Akavan from Magic Eden, by the way. He broke the news on Friday with this screenshot. I tried to look for it. I couldn't find it. So again, shout out to Kate for doing the proper write-up there. But just wanted to
Nice.
give him some credit on that. In other news, Peyton, you're talking about builders. Well, these builders are
Oh
calling
my
it
gosh.
quits. GameStop bails on crypto gaming, killing their
What don't they
NFT
quit?
marketplace.
Yeah. They're just I think GameStop is just the biggest rug. They rug us on like our specific. We should have all known whenever you give a game that was $60 2 days ago and they're gonna give it to you for $5. We should have we should have seen this coming. I was never like really bullish on the GameStop announcement, I'll be
Mm,
honest. I thought it was actually unbullish to a certain degree because GameStop at that point wasn't the GameStop that we all know and love. It was the
mm,
GameStop that it was the GME, right?
mm.
GME is what it was more known for than it was for GameStop. And I knew it was like, it was a bag for them. And like they did, right? I think it was just really bad, unfortunately. But it is what it is. We learn. Fool me once, right? So
I
how
mean,
about yourself? What do you think about it?
it was quite the
Yeah,
bag for
this is
them,
it.
Peyton.
Yeah.
So apparently this was a partnership with Immutable. They received $47 million in Immutable tokens, following, you know, their deal, and they like dumped them like as soon as they got them.
Yeah.
We actually have a tweet here from Psyched Out, co-founder of Azuki. You know, masterful execution by GameStop. Got in at
Yeah.
the peak to pump its shares, partnered with Immutable for $47 million, immediately dumped, now exiting the space with a profit. How many similar deals were made last bull market? Very good question. I think Coop was somewhere. Yeah, how many deals like this are being made now? And that's kind of just a further extension of, like, we talk about this often, you know, a lot of these announcements are just announcements for the sake of announcements. Are these real partnerships? Are they going to go anywhere? Are these people actually invested in the space, right? That's why when I see things like Nike continuing to push forward into digital collectibles and wearables and things like that, Square Enix really, you know, exploring Web3, Zynga doubling down, I get excited because it's like, okay, they're here, they're real, they're about that life. Yeah, to your point, Peyton, the GameStop NFT marketplace didn't really go anywhere, and maybe didn't have a shot at going anywhere. At the time, I was excited. Again, I thought it was like a big signal for these players taking an interest, and, you know, they have big user bases. I think, like, you know, Undead Blocks and maybe some other Web3 games on Immutable had done some GameStop NFT launches, but yeah, they seem to kind of come and go. So I guess we close a chapter in that book and like on to the next in terms of
I'm glad it's closed. Glad it's closed.
Yeah, I guess, you know, I want these things to work and I want them to be successful, right? I want these shots on goal. And I guess this is an example of a shot on goal that that missed. And you know, we tried that one, didn't work out, and we'll come back. You know, maybe again we're still early. Who knows?
Yeah, I think we're still early for sure.
Yeah, not the only one to sunset a project. Twitter X is removing the NFT profile pictures from support pages. NFTs just down bad, man. Like, you can't catch a break right now. Can't catch a bid. I don't know, Peyton. Big deal, little deal, no deal. Shout out to Sam and Gamified.
Yeah.
What do you think about this?
A little deal. I don't really care, to be honest, about like the profile pictures. Like, I think for me, a circle one doesn't matter to me from a hexagon one.
Yeah.
And so I think when it comes to the identity, it's all on the blockchain. It doesn't matter if you put it up on anything or it reads that. Great. I'm all for people integrating the blockchain tech, but like this is like so minimal in my opinion, because I never used it. I have NFTs. It never really like I never aspired to do that. I felt like it was kind of like a virtual signaling for NFTs or stuff like that, and I just never really cared for it. So I say a little deal, but probably a lot of people. I'm probably not typical on that side of things. But what about you?
I agree. I think it's a little deal, but it's also to me a bit of a sad deal. Again, I like that we had these utility things. I like that we had big players like Twitter and, you know, Facebook dabbling with the technology and giving utility and feature sets to people. Like, imagine that, you know, you have an Azuki and it gets into this anime and the anime blows up and it ends up getting picked up on Netflix or whatever, and it's like someone could go on Twitter and like see the official Azuki, you know, NFT profile or whatever from that user. It's like, that's a pretty cool flex. Now, is there anything beyond that flex? I guess not, but that is a bit of the world that I want to live in, where these platforms are integrated and, you know, I don't want to say interoperable, but like, you know, you can move from platform to platform, from medium to medium, from entertainment to entertainment, and there's a through line in that connection. And I thought that was a really cool, tasteful way that NFTs were being integrated on Twitter. So I'm sad to see them sunset it, I'll be honest. But to your point, like, yeah, I never used it. I never cared about it. It wasn't that big of a deal when you saw someone with like, okay, that's your official NFT. Like, that just means you're a target at this point.
Exactly.
Like, you're advertising, like, oh, be careful. But it's a step, backwards and not forwards.
Right.
I also think that this
It's a
is
good point. It's a
I
good call
also
out.
think that this is a little bit of a sign that, like, you know, in the beginning, Elon was like all about crypto, right? He's like, maybe
Right.
there was going to be a lot of crypto adoption on Twitter. And I feel like he's taken a step back from that. And I'm now more concerned that they're going to do their X Pay, and, they're going to do their own wallets, and they're going to do their own payment infrastructure, and maybe not be so crypto friendly and not integrate it as much as we thought. And it's just going to be another walled garden where they, take all the spoils. So
Right.
I don't know.
Could be.
I think Jonah had a good take, similar take, right? It's like, it's not really that big of a deal. Listen, we've got games, anime, shows, shoes, media, like all being backed by PFPs, like being able to flex on Twitter is not that big of a deal, guys. So fair point.
I
With
just
that,
love the savagery of him. So many sheep.
Yeah, with that, let's we got to move through these a little bit, Peyton. So on the horizon, we got a bunch of things coming up, but friendly reminder, guys, we are giving away an Eve common worth $190 right now. So comment below, what are you excited about NFTs? In Nike, do you think that's going to be a big deal? Are they going to be NFTs or not? Comment on some of the news stories below. Are you sad to see NFTs go on Twitter? Let us know. And we'll be picking a winner in the next day or so. But with that, big week for Nifty Island. Their launch is coming in 2 days, Peyton, which is pretty exciting. It seemed like Finn and Jonah and some of the guys got early access, and Finn tweeted out,
nice,
favorite Web3 gaming experience. We got some clips coming up, so I'm excited to hear him say that. I'm excited. I mean, look,
no, for sure.
I think they got Jonah's character in there.
Jonah's that look like Iceyyy or Bodago. Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
So I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it to see what they do. And I actually don't know anything about the actual gameplay loop. So I'm excited to just jump in and play and figure it out myself.
They said that I was listening to them on a few different spaces, and they said they're gonna have a few different game experiences that you can go take advantage of. So yeah, I can't wait. I want to get in there. Obviously there's a play to airdrop campaign coming, so keep an eye out for that, guys. We also got another airdrop campaign coming from Shutdown. I don't know how I didn't see this sooner, to be honest. And to your point, Peyton, I found some other gameplay clips. It seems like they're still got the top-down shooter, so I don't know if they just released this viewpoint for like a cinematic trailer. If the game was this looks good. I wouldn't mind playing the game from this viewpoint.
And maybe they'll just give you a different camera perspective. That'll be cool to show. But for me, I think these type of games, you're at a disadvantage if you're at this specific camera view versus a top down. But that's mostly just the gamer in me.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I like the immersiveness. But this is going on this week, guys. It's going on to January 19th. So play to airdrop, Shutdown. It is live right now. You can go play the game, have some fun, post some clips, and maybe earn a little bit of their airdrop. This was a big announcement, Peyton. We got Palio AI announcing their flagship AI and Web3 collection. I think that's going to be a huge narrative this year, Peyton.
Right.
Like, the AI Web3 thing. It feels like a match made in heaven.
With Exterio?
Yeah. Well, Palio and Exterio may be a match made in heaven, right? So 100% guaranteed whitelist. You love to hear that. They're learning. 333 NFTs. They do like their numbers. I don't know. Do you know much about this project, Peyton?
For them, yeah. So I could talk a little bit about it. I talked to the team just briefly, and they were doing, like, in terms of AI, this is actually an Exterio game, so it's not actually like a third-party studio doing it. And the other aspect of things is, like, it's kind of like Tamagotchi, but with like AI, and then you sending out to do things. And so a lot of cool things that they're doing whenever I listen, but I'll shut up there because I don't want to share the things that I'm not supposed to share. But I think it's a really cool, and I think you're exactly right. I think AI, Web3, blockchain, is it a narrative that stays? I don't know, but I'm really excited to see, Palio, AI Arena, Parallel Colonies, Today the Game. Those are all fantastic products that have AI at the center of it, as well as being super bullish in terms of Web3. So I'm excited for them.
I feel like that scene from like Godfather 3 or something like that. It's like every time I think I'm out, they just pull me back in. Like there's something
Yeah.
about this space, man, that just taps into our lizard brain where it's like, oh, new mint, new whitelist. Like
Oh yeah,
what's happening? Like I want to know, you know, like let me in.
absolutely.
I like how they say affordable mint here. I just saw that.
It
What's
ain't free, but it's
wh-
affordable.
yeah, what's the I'm curious their definition of affordable. We'll find out.
Yeah. What's your definition of affordable?
I don't know. I mean, I like the 0.15 pre-sales on Overworld, you
Overall,
know.
I think that was a good price. Yeah, you're right on that for sure.
I mean, it was a little pricey, but also like but affordable, right?
Right.
I don't know. Also we got Heroes of Mavia. They've got their Pioneer airdrop campaign going right now. You can earn the Mavia token through season 1. Basically there's a full blog post. We'll have it all linked down below.
Cool.
But I think it's mostly for staking. So yeah, it's land, stakers, and holders. So very interesting there. But they've got like 4 different seasons of their whole airdrop. All the details are there. You know, they're going to be doing 1% of the token supply and 2% reserved for, you know, oh, the airdrop is going to be 2%. 1% is going to be for centralized exchanges. And then the rest of it will kind of come out over time. So shout out to Heroes of Mavia. I know a lot of people are big fans of that game. And, you know, waiting for that. I don't know any holders or I don't know anything about the NFTs. So not
Some
really
older
sure.
holders, yeah, but I don't know too much about them either.
Yeah. Also, we got the Play Ember NFT mint coming up. People have been clamoring about this. I've been seeing the tweets all over the timeline. I know that I worked with one of the collab managers, so we got some spots for the owned creators, so we got to submit those wallets today.
Nice.
So I don't think the date has been announced yet, but it seems like it's coming soon. So
Cool.
keep an eye out for that, guys. Try and get your whitelist if you can. This is the next, you know, big hyped mint. Any thoughts on any of those, Peyton?
Play Ember. I think there was a post by Jin Kirin or Gaspode, and part of like I think their frustration was that like the game doesn't look good at all. It's like a hyper casual type of one. I haven't played it or seen it actually, so I don't want to jump to conclusions. But what I'll say is that I really trust Jin Kirin and Gaspode. They're kind of like a gauge of truth for me when it comes to the gaming side of things. And if they're telling me it's not fun or it's not engaging, sometimes I listen to those people, and they unfortunately don't have like a large following, but I think they have an important following. And so for me, I really care about when people are brutally honest when it comes to the gameplay side of things. But again, they don't know the business side of things. So maybe Play Ember is doing great in terms of the business and what they're doing for the game. I know they have a solid team, which is part of it. So
Yeah, you know, there was so much like noise coming out about the game that I tried to do a deep dive, and they've got like a bunch of hyper
Mhm.
casual mobile games. It seems like there's a studio there. Not the kind of games that I would play, to be
Right.
honest. I think they did tweet out that they recently crossed like 120 million downloads or something like that. So,
Nice.
you know, they're doing
Congratulations.
some stuff. They're doing some stuff, and there are
Yeah.
people playing. So it's interesting. But
Yeah, I will say too, like Jin Karen and Gaspo, they play games that probably me and you play more, right? So having a whole bunch of ads on the screen and hyper casual, mobile, play to win, probably not their fancy. And that's also why I wanted to kind of caveat with I haven't
yeah,
played it just yet.
it's definitely something to keep an eye on, I think, for sure. But with
Yeah.
that said, Peyton, we got a question of the week for you real quick. We'll try and move through this because we're going over time just a little bit here. But we had this really cool video. Shout out to Jake Lucky talking to the developers of Smite, man. We got Smite 2 coming. That's big news in the gaming
Yeah.
world. But he was asking them like about the player owned skins. coming over from Smite 1 into Smite 2, and they're like, guys, the amount of development time that it would take for us to port over those skins, like Fortnite 1 and 2, or no, not Fortnite, sorry, UE 1 and 2 and even 3 is so much different from UE 5 and everything like that. Like, it just, it would not work. It's not like they you know, they're interoperable like that. So we had a really nice take from Ember's NPCO. We like to joke around, Peyton, that Web3 fixes this, NFTs fix this. Well, apparently NFTs do not fix this. You know, he says that you know, their databases probably better than blockchain. They're probably more efficient way to track ownership in their latest game if they actually did take the time to update the skins. NFTs are great as an interoperability layer that allow for interesting reward mechanics, user acquisition strategies, and incentive models. I know you agree with that, but they do not make it easier for studios to bring skins into their new games. Are you telling me that interoperability is a lie, Peyton? What are we doing?
So I think this is where like a lot of the NFT crypto space just doesn't understand game development at all. And that's whenever like you get comments underneath them. And then also what puts a huge target on our backs that we're like idiots and we know nothing. And probably that's true in some regard. What he's saying is that it takes so much longer to actually draw them out because the NFT themselves isn't the graphic, right? It's just the it's the receipt, really, right? So it's you taking that receipt and giving it to the artist and saying, hey, I want to fulfill this receipt because I had a skin in Smite 1 and I want to bring it over to Smite 2. And the artist is looking at it. Do you understand what I would have to do to make this receipt actually like mean something? And so I think what they're doing in the databases, and I watched the whole Smite thing. I was interested in it. They're taking all of the progression that they had in like season 1 to like give out like these specific currency, soft currency within Smite 2 to be able to like purchase things or at a discount, right? And you can say like, is that predatory or whatever? Maybe just give like the new stuff, but they also have to make money, right? In terms of that. And so it does not solve it, but what it does show in terms of their things, and I agree with the MPC as well in terms of the what he says about like their backends are probably more efficient than blockchain. I think blockchain, because it's a public ledger, that's what's really makes it more efficient. You can't do this on a broader scale, decentralized and all that stuff. Their databases, if they did them right for Smite 1, I completely agree with Ember, is do that. So follow MPC. He's awesome. Ember, great call. And yeah, great job educating the space. Even though people are probably not going to read this and being like, no, NFT still fix this, dude. You're an idiot. He's not an idiot. He's freaking smart. You should listen to him. And yeah, we can move on from there. But what do you think about this, man? Coming from our gamer's perspective, at first glance, did you think that, oh yeah, NFTs do fix this, or were you
No, I definitely didn't think that, and I think that it's an important and good conversation. We're growing as a space to like realize where this technology can be applied and where it can't be applied,
right?
And you know, we're all in this space for these new gaming experiences and these new games to be developed, which is really exciting. I mean, I love the gaming industry continuing to grow, and hopefully we can continue to grow alongside them with our technology. And at a certain point, there will be a little bit more of a crossover as the space matures and develops, and the traditional gaming industry sees how they can implement and integrate these technologies, these receipts. Maybe the tech will get there at some point, right? Some AI script that can read the metadata and then, you know, do a lot of the shading and development and porting things over. Maybe that's a pipe dream and I'm, you know, living in Ready Player One futureverse over here, but it's good to acknowledge where we're currently at and the realities of game development. So I think it's a good conversation. Shout out to Smite. Super exciting for them to be developing. You know, I think it's been 10, 11 years, something like that.
Yeah, it's been 10 years.
So excited about that. And shout out to Jake Lucky getting the content and getting you know, the important conversations. I mean, this guy's just everywhere, man. Working hard.
Yeah.
You love to see it. But Peyton, with that, I think that's gonna close out Ready Up episode 6.
Sorry for going long.
As always, well, there was a lot to talk about, man, and I really, really enjoyed it. As always, though, we're gonna close out with some games that we're playing because Iceyyy Gaming, we're gaming out here. We're Web3 gamers. But before we do, just want to final remind everybody that we are giving away an Eve from Dimensionals, one of their commons, worth 0.075 ETH. So if you haven't liked, commented, or retweeted on the show right now, retweet the space right now, comment down below, give us your thoughts on any of the topics that we covered today, or if you're watching the VOD on YouTube, you've got 24 hours to comment. We're going to pick one winner from either of those and give that out in about a day or so. But Peyton, did you play any games last week?
Yeah. I played Cypher as well as Left 4 Dead 2. Yeah, I played Cypher, Left 4 Dead 2, and 6 Days in Fallujah. I am currently
You're
and
on
also
like 30
RimWorld.
days of Fallujah right now.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. I hate that game. And so, yeah, and then I'm playing RimWorld as well. Toss a lot, who's A16Z recommended playing it for people that want to know AI design for without using LLMs, which is probably going to be the next layer of game development. So I've been kind of just being a lot of fun there. So
nice.
How about yourself? What you playing this week?
Well, real quick though, what was your reaction to Cypher? How'd you feel?
Oh, it's beautiful, man. I think it's great. It plays smooth, and I have like my thing that I'm shipping over to the game people here shortly. So I think it went well. So
awesome. Well, yeah, I didn't have a chance to play too much last week, so I was traveling to Vegas. So really, I think
Shrapnite.
The only game that I played was Shrapnite. Their Fortnite map. We played it at the HyperX Arena, like the charity event. They had a bunch of computers there. Really, really cool to be there, man. That's where Dr. Disrespect and Crypto Stash recently had their dead drop event. Snapshot, I don't know, 6 or 7. So like dream come true to like go there and jump on some PCs and game a little bit. And then we also streamed for the official Shrapnite game night. So super fun. I mean, standard Fortnite type of game, right? Or game mode or game play. But the game mode was Shrapnel, where you got to get in and extract, and that was a lot of fun. So, but excited to be home, get back in the saddle, and see what we can get up to this week.
Yeah,
but with that said, Peyton, that's going to conclude episode 6 of Ready Up, your Monday deep dive to get ready for the week, to ready up for these crazy bull run market that is happening. There's a lot happening in the space. There's probably going to be more this week. Peyton, close us out.
Dude, thank you guys so much for coming out, and we cannot wait to see you in the next week's episode. Like, comment, subscribe, retweet this. We're going to give away an Eve. Iceyyy, you're the best. Appreciate you, and we'll see you gaming out there in Web3.